Free, KJLH.
There cannot be a problem without a solution.
Wake up, wake up.
America is already great.
Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
When they go low, we go high.
That's our motto. We want freedom by any means necessary.
Wake up. The front page with Dominic DePrima is on. News, knowledge, and your voice. The views and opinions expressed on the front page are not necessarily those of Taxi Productions or KJLH. Rise, shine, and stay woke. It's the front page with Dominic DePrima on Radio Free 102.3 KJLH.
If you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you dare not to struggle, then you don't deserve to win.
Wake up, wake up.
Radio Free 102.3 KJLH. Good morning. I'm Dominic DePrima. As I'm approaching the microphone, I'm asking for blessings from God Almighty, the ancestors, the righteous elders. Where are you going, Roland Bynum? In Southern California's early morning communications drum is now wide open. Welcome, family. Man, you know, it's weird to be in here on a Saturday. Welcome worldwide if you're listening online at kjlhradio.com. I'm going to tell you what I'm usually doing at this time. I'm usually in my car listening to Roland Bynum and just loving that amazing, great music that you play, Roland. Roland, thank you for sharing your time with us this morning. It's so very much appreciated.
It's just too important not to be able to share this. It's just too important. We have some great guests here. And Dominic, you have such a great presence with our audience, and I know you're going to bring that information. And as I said this morning, don't panic. For thou art with you.
Thanks so much, Roland. We've got incredible guests here all day on the phone. Not all day. We're here for 2 hours, and we're handing it back over to the music because we need to party and have some music in our lives right about now. In the studio with us this morning, the council president emeritus, former speaker of the legislature here in California, Herb Wesson. Good morning.
Good morning to you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you, and thanks for coming in. I know you guys are so busy right now with the response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the way that it's hitting our city and our state harder than many other states. And so I appreciate you taking the time out.
Again, my pleasure.
And I just want to, I know, we like to, there's a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot people panicking. But your job is to respond and figure out how to be 2 steps ahead in what we might need. And I was really heartened to see you have a package of bills that you're talking about trying to pass on Tuesday before the city council. Talk about what that is and how that, how you think it can help us at this time.
Well, see, what we have to realize, it's moments like this that bring out the best in people and sometimes bring out the worst in people. And this is a time where government has to stand up and try to lead. And we have a serious health issue that we're dealing with. This planet probably hasn't seen anything like this since medieval times. And so we have professionals that are taking care or attempting to take care of the health concerns. But there is other ramifications. Like individuals, we all know that the baseball season's been delayed. The NBA is suspended. The hockey season is suspended. And that's terrible. But what people don't realize is that there are individuals that's how they derive their income. And so that money has been taken away from them. So one of the things that we want to do in government on Tuesday is put forth a package of actions that would temporarily place a moratorium on all rental evictions and foreclosures, mortgage foreclosures. We also want to officially indicate that Department of Water and Power will not shut off utilities. We're telling individuals to wash their hands. In fact, I've washed my hands so many times it look like a raisin and they feel like sandpaper. But how can people wash their hands if their power's been turned off? We also want to suspend or put a moratorium on small businesses being evicted. And we want to put together some kind of an assistance package for small business, mom and pops, and employees that are losing income. So that's the big conversation that's going to happen on Tuesday, led by myself, my colleagues, Mike Bonin, and the current council president, Nury Martinez.
And, what you're doing, what I understand of this is that you're looking ahead, because right now, all of us, our lights, hopefully most of us, our lights and our power are on and our, bills are paid. We're looking down the line. If people have interruptions in terms of their employment or, they're not being able to go around, or if people get sick or whatever, we're looking down the road. This is what we might need.
Well, we want to put all of these things in place because we're going to need them. When I rattled off all of the industries that have been suspended or delayed or postponed, the individuals depend. There are individuals that depend on working at Laker games and Clipper games and Dodger games in order to augment their income so they can pay their rent. They can pay their mortgage. Yeah. They can pay for food. So this is not anticipating. We know that this is going to happen. So we need to have things in place. Right now, all of us have to come together. The banks, businesses, the individuals that just live in our city. We've got to all come together and help each other stay afloat until we get through this, and we will get through this.
And we have a lot of folks that are checking in with us today because we want to deal with a lot of aspects. What is happening with the government? What is happening with changes in rules in our city and in our state? How do we handle this emotionally? What are the implications physically? We want to get your questions because I've been getting a lot of questions during the week on Front Page and in the streets. And I think, folks are just making stuff up or believing something they heard on the internet or, somebody's passing around a text or a WhatsApp. And if you don't know the source, then, I think, me, I'm always considered the source. But we tried to get a lot of different perspectives for you today. So we'll be hearing from different kinds of experts. Joining us right now is a clinical psychologist. She serves as the director of behavioral health for Unicare Community Health Center. And she's been cited in Psychology Today, Heart and Soul, Essence, Women's Day, and much, much more. Dr. Gloria Morrow, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate your coming in. So you told me, we talked on email,
yes.
The ultimate social distancing. And you said, a lot of your patients are really experiencing anxiety and stress. And I'm not a psychologist, but I'm getting that on the phones here. So what are you telling folks?
Well, we're just trying to help people to, number one, know that it's okay to have a little bit of anxiety because, anxiety, if it's the normal anxiety, it helps us to be better prepared. These things are things we should have been doing all along, to keep our community safe. So now with a little bit of anxiety, we're in preparation mode. And that's really, really a good thing, paying attention to credible information that we're hearing. But I'm telling people to not become overwhelmed with the media. I'm also telling people if they are on medications for anxiety and depression, they need to take their medications. I'm also telling folks to, while we're trying to do social distancing, do not isolate. So you need to be talking to folks through, video chatting, Skype, FaceTime, anything that will allow you to stay connected with someone, because if people are going inward, then they're going to have a lot more distress. And I'm also telling folks to use this time, if they are off, if their children are off and they have to be off with them, to kind of go back to some of our family values of playing games with our kids, helping them to feel good during this time, because I think even our children are feeling a little anxious.
So if you got a question about anything at all concerning coronavirus or COVID-19, and, you know, we do have some medical doctors that will be here today. We also, right now, we have Dr. Gloria Morrow. We have Council President Emeritus Herb Wesson, and we got me. And I've been reading so much about this thing, my head is going to explode. But, you know, it's been helpful because I'm always one that's like, okay, you're not going to get Ebola. You're not going to get H1N1. You ain't going to get the swine flu. Just relax. You're doing too much. You know, that's me. And I still feel that way because I know that 98% of people that get coronavirus are not going to die. They're going to get sick and then they're going to get better. Right? Even if the entire Utah Jazz has it, which is highly likely that they do, they're going to get sick and then they're going to get better and then they're going to have another season and keep it pushing. But what I started to understand is that this is different because it is a new strain of a virus that's been around for a long time and it can spread really fast. And scientists don't know everything about it. And we've seen it spread really fast. We've seen it spread really fast in China, in Italy. And we've also seen it stop spreading really fast when people stop spreading it around. So I came to understand that it's not just about hysteria and people, you know, people being irrational. There is a real thing that we have to slow this thing down, right? Isn't that why we have to, all this, like right now in the city of LA, Council President Emeritus.
Just Herb.
The emeritus.
Just Herb works for me.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, we're not supposed to have gatherings of more than 50. That's the rule of thumb at this point, right?
No. Yes. Well, at this point, what we need to do is everything that we can to help our medical staff, our doctors, our nurses, and our medical technicians do their job. And the way that we can help them is by practicing social distancing, by being smart, by staying home when we can stay home, by doing things over the phone or doing things via computer. The most important thing that we can do is try to stay out of the medical professionals' way so that they can get a handle on this.
And that's one of the reasons we can stay home.
Yes. And you know, LAUSD beginning Monday, there'll be no classes. Anybody that wants to get additional information on that should call 213-443-1300. On Wednesday, they will have at least 40 centers where individuals can drop their children and their children will be fed. And I think that this is the beginning of things happening that we're not used to. So we need to be, and I'm sure the doctor would agree, that we need to be flexible now. We need to be pliable. We don't need to be shocked when it's suggested that, you know, we don't do this or that we do that. So this is a time for us to find all of us to find our inner angels.
Yes.
And be the best people that we can be.
Yeah, it's a great way of thinking about it. I mean, I think so much of the coverage in the news and, you know, people's personal fears have led to this very self-centered approach of like, I need to get all the hand sanitizer. I need 10 cases of toilet paper. But we're Angelinos, you know what I mean? We've been through civil unrest, recession, we've been through wildfires and earthquakes, and we gonna be all right. I think we have to get back to our superhero tendencies. We help each other. We are bigger than that. We lean on our faith. We lean on each other. And you know, Councilmember Wesson, I just can't do Herb. I feel like I'm being disrespectful. I just feel like
it's Saturday and I don't have on a tie.
You
can
sure
do,
don't.
You can do
Okay,
Herb.
well, Herb. I mean, I feel like that's what you're really touching on. You're touching on, you know, let's get back to who we really are and stop acting like we're in, you know, some weird movie. The Purge or something.
Give you an example. My wife was at the market yesterday. She was waiting for a woman to pull out of the parking space, and the two of them are giving each other signals like, hey, I'm going to pull out, you can get my space. As the lady pulls off, a guy and his family zip into the space, and she says, now, you know I was going to take that space. The guy with his wife and child gives my wife the finger.
Oh, wow.
That's not what we need right now.
Absolutely.
We need to all come together and to realize that let's just stay afloat until we get a handle on this. And we will get a handle on this.
No doubt. I mean, you know, we've seen really big success in China and in Italy once they started, you know, doing the things they need to do to get the doggone thing under control.
Right.
But going back to Herb's story about the parking space, this is what I was hoping you would touch on, Dr. Morrow, because you're a psychologist, and we've got to really talk ourselves off the ledge in some sense, right?
Yes. Well, you know, one of the things that's happening, these are people who probably already are a little bit out of control. So I think we need to say that. This is just heightening how people already feel and behave. And so it's very, very important for people to recognize that they're not doing well and to then talk to somebody, because these times are not going to get instantly better. We're getting more information, which helps us. But people who are already suffering with mental illnesses, who already have financial uncertainties and are stressed out already, this just adds to that stress. And so we want to just encourage everyone who may be listening to us today to know that things are being done that will be helpful to us. You need to get the credible information so you can see what resources are available and then utilize them. And what I've found is that the city of Los Angeles especially has tons of resources that we sometimes do not utilize. So this is a time to sit down and see what your needs are and then try to get the help you need so that you aren't so stressed out and anxious, because then we're going to see more and more of what his wife experienced.
Because, see, this is a time for, you know, this is why governments were created. So I believe that we need to step up and that we need to lead. As the three of us are having this conversation right now, there's a mother of 3 kids sitting at her kitchen table saying, what the hell am I going to do?
Right.
And so those are the people that we have to look out for. Those are the people that we have to be able to say, don't worry about it. You're not going to be kicked out of your apartment. You're not going to be foreclosed on. You are not going to become part of the homeless population, which is what, you know, we cannot afford at this point in time to push people out of their homes and into the street.
Right.
And if government needs to do the best that it can to intervene, then so be it. And that's why, in order for us to stay afloat, we're going to be calling on the banking industry, lending industry, the land. And just for a moment, like I said, the package that we're going to introduce on Tuesday is also aimed to help small businesses. I have unbelievable restaurants in Leimert Park, Koreatown, Pico Union, where they've been open and maybe 2 or 3 people come. You can't run a business when you have 2 or 3 customers.
Right.
So we have to be able to be in a position to help them as well. And that's what we're going to begin the conversation about this Tuesday. And I'm optimistic we'll be taking some actions that will happen quickly and save people their businesses and keep them in their homes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the other stress people are experiencing is not just the virus, it's financial. All of these children have been let out of school, so we have parents who are trying to figure out who's going to keep their children while they try to go to work. Like I work in a healthcare system. We're working on looking at telemedicine and different ways so we can handle things if we need to be away or be quarantined or help people who are quarantined. So there are a lot of stressors that are potentially there, but we can handle it. We are resilient. And this is a time to really focus on our strengths.
And like I said, LAUSD is going to have 40 centers where people will be able to take their children, 40 centers throughout the city of Los Angeles where they will be supervised. They will be fed. In the event that the school district needs to make adjustments and have more, they will do that. They will screen people in the morning to make sure that none of the adults have fevers or the kids have fevers. If they do, they will send them home. But they're going to do everything that they can to make these safe locations where you will be able to take your children and then go to work.
520-KJLH, 520-5554. That's the number. Doesn't matter what your area code is. We are taking your phone calls all the way up until 10 o'clock. We're talking about COVID-19, the coronavirus. With us right now, Dr. Morrow. She's a psychologist. Herb Wesson, he is on the city council. And me, Dominique DePrima. It's a special edition of the Front Page. And we are going to go to Lee from Los Angeles. Good morning, Lee. You are on the air. Welcome. Lee, are you Lee, can you hear me? Are you with us? Just one second. Technical difficulties. Hello, Lee from LA? Okay, we're having a little technical challenge here, but we'll have your calls coming in just a moment. So the question is, you talked about resources, and Herb, you talked about these centers. So I know the centers are going to be free.
Yes.
And I know that they haven't released the list yet, but it will be on lausd.net, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
That's the website that I have.
Okay. And I'll keep monitoring that, and we will be announcing those things on KJLH. When we say we are you, we're not playing. You know, we need to know where the centers are too. So we're going to keep you abreast of that information. All LA Unified schools are closed. All of them.
Beginning Monday.
Starting Monday, yeah.
These centers will be up and operational on Wednesday. So parents should know for 2 days that these centers will not be operational.
Until
so on
Wednesday,
Monday
yeah.
and Tuesday, they're going to have to take care of their children. And if you have a member of the family that could stay home with the children, well, I would recommend that's probably best.
Now, Dr. Morrow, when you say resources that we're not using, can you give me an example?
Yes, sometimes when people are already in trouble, they are not reaching out to anyone. So if you have a need for mental health services, or if you have need for food or shelter or whatever the need is, sometimes people are panicking without thinking they have resources available. And so the websites that we do have available will be helpful to them. Now, we do know that some of our community may not have access to computers and to websites. And so I would really be interested myself in how people are going to be communicating. Is there a phone number or some place people can call so that they can get the help they need?
Well, you know, I think we underutilize 311 for sure. I mean, 311 is not 911. It's if you just need some information, if you have a question. I've called 311 before about dumb stuff, and they're actually pretty nice to you. They don't say you're an idiot. They just give you a referral number, you know, which is nice. Like, I don't want to hear that I'm an idiot, but because I don't know what to do with my old couch, or, you know, I'm not sure where the center is to take my kid. They usually will have a number or a website for you. So I think
also for the county of LA, you can call 211, and that to get information and referrals for all health and human services concerns in the county of LA. That's 211. Now, I would anticipate that possibly some of these numbers will be overloaded, but just give them a moment, and I'm sure we'll make whatever adjustments need to be made so that we can accommodate our callers. But 211 would be a good place for them to start, or you could go to publichealth.lacounty.gov.
Let's try again with Lee from LA. That's line 3. Let's see if we can get that working. Hi, Lee. Are you there?
I am here. How are you? I'm
blessed. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind this morning?
And thank you for this program. I think it's very informative and needed. I heard Herb Weston, and good morning, Mr. Weston.
Good morning.
And thank you for the turkey drive. I get my turkey every year.
Good.
Thank you. The question is, he mentioned about if you have an if an employee is working somewhere and they lose their job because of the coronavirus and they cannot pay their rent, then there are safeguards in place for them. But my question is, what if you are a small business, not necessarily where people are walking in, but you own a small apartment building, maybe 3 or 4 units, and 2 of your tenants cannot pay the rent? What safeguards would be in place for an owner of a business like that? Because it would be very impactful.
Well, that's a great question. I'm so glad you brought that up, because what people need to understand is that we want to take care of the small business people as well. We want to take care of the mom and pop apartment owners that, you know, they own 4 units or 6 units, and that's their retirement. So on Tuesday, we're going to be discussing ways in which we can provide assistance to them as well. You know, the tenants, they lose their job. They had no intention of losing their job because of this virus. But that then puts the landlords in a position where they still have to pay their mortgage.
Right.
So this is. Yes, it is a domino effect, and that's why I said earlier, we all have to embrace each other and come up with a way to keep all of us afloat until things are normalized again. So one of the things that makes this country the great country that it is our small landlords and our small business people. So when we're talking about assistance, we're talking about coming up with assistance for them as well.
Across the board.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what's being discussed at Tuesday's City Council meeting. So I guess we'll get more answers Tuesday, Wednesday, as the week progresses, right, Mr. Wesson?
Yes.
Tuesday at the City Council, is attendance required, or will there be?
Well, I would just watch it on Channel 35.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, I am not suggesting that people come down and, be a part of it. If you can listen to it, watch it on your cable channel 35, that's what I would recommend. So I don't know exactly how it's going to go. We're going to have all kinds of, I'm sure, questions, some answers, but we will begin developing a plan to try to keep us stabilized as we go through this crisis.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I think it's a good time to pay attention to what our city council, our board of supervisors, our governor, and our president are doing, because these are the people that are spending our money to keep us safe right now. And this is why we, like Mr. Wesson said, this is why we have a government.
Right, and this is why we vote for them, because
exactly.
We put our trust
Thank you,
and
Lee. We got a bunch of folks waiting.
Wait, don't cut her off. She's saying this is why we vote for them.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, let Lee finish.
We vote for those who are incumbents because we have confidence in them that when we vote for them again, that they will come back and do an even better job. That's all I have to say.
I like Lee.
Well, I like Lee too.
But this is again, I've said it I think 3 times already. This is when government has to step up and lead.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is not when we point fingers and blame people for not doing this or for doing that. This is when we've got to get this situation under control and help return not just this city, but this country back to normalcy. I anticipate over the next few days, we're going to see things that we never dreamed that we would see. I'm glad we have the doctor here, because she's trying to get individuals to understand and just kind of go with the flow, get as much information as you can. If you need help, reach out. But we're going to go through some changes, but we're going to get through this.
Right. Yeah, we are. We definitely are. And you know what? We do have some, other doctors coming, medical doctors and such, that will be here to answer your questions. Council member Herb Wesson is here. Dr. Janet Morrow is here. And I'm here. 520-KJLH, 520-5554. We got to take a break, Guy Black. Can we take one more call before we take the break, Guy Black? Thanks for letting us hog up some of your time, Guy Black. Appreciate it, brother. I know, but we about to take 9 o'clock too. Yep. All right, let's go to Robert from LA. Hi, Robert.
Good morning. This is Robert Cicedo from Community Build. How are you all this morning?
Welcome.
Morning.
Morning, Robert.
Morning, Herb. Just wanted to let you all know, and we've notified your office as well, Herb, that Community Build in about a half hour is going to be hosting a conference call to launch something called Project Respond. And what we're doing is gathering individuals who are part of the CBO community, churches, mental
community-based organization for those of us who are just regular folks.
Right. Yes. Yes. Forgive me.
No worries. It's my job.
And the idea here is to make sure that we assess what assets that we have and how we will deploy those assets in terms of, for example, at Community Build, all the employees were sent home yesterday to get their families ready, and then we report back here on Monday to begin to start preparing to turn our offices into an emergency operations
All right,
center.
now before you freak everybody out, what does get my families ready mean?
Yeah, so
Make
what
sure
that
they
means
have
is
toilet paper? Is that what we're talking about here?
Go to the store and get what you need,
Uh-huh.
and then make sure that you have secured the comfort of your home, and then be ready to come back and serve the community in a way that if we need to flex into emergency operations center, we also have a couple of churches, mental health professionals, et cetera. So we'll be planning this out in about a half an hour.
Okay, so fill up the fridge, yell at the kids. That's basically what you mean.
Right. And
Got
then
it.
hopefully what we'll be able to do is identify additional support to the city for distribution centers should we need those, et cetera. So I just want to make that known, and then you'll hear more about that later this week.
Great. Well, see, that's good to know.
But see, Dominique, this is what, Robert, and I appreciate you calling in. This is why this great city, even with our flaws, we're going to survive.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the during moments like this, it does bring out the good in certain people. And Robert and his organization is a perfect example of that. There will be organizations throughout this region that will come together and will do whatever is necessary to stabilize this region and get through this. That's why I do what I do. And that's what excites me so much about this area. I bet there are hundreds of people that wish that they could do what Robert is doing. And I would think in the upcoming days, they'll be afforded opportunities to help this city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's really reassuring that all these community-based organizations and government officials are actually making moves right now to see what we might need in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
That's right.
I know I told Guy just one more, but we're going to go ahead and take Monica from L.A. And then we'll take a break. I promise, Guy Black. I promise. Hi, Monica.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bless you. I've spoken to you several times. I just wanted to let everybody know because there are a lot of resources. I work for the County of L.A. I'm an eligibility worker. So, like they were saying, some people who don't have access to internet, you can call social services. This is our toll-free number. It is 866-613-3777. And our website is yourbenefits.laclrs.org. So some of the people that have been affected, they can apply for, CalFresh, they can apply for Cash Aid, Medi-Cal, whatever they need to do, and then they can call us. We have several referrals. Like Councilman Herb Winston said, there's 211. They're open 24/7. But if you call us, whatever anybody needs, you can do it. There's food pantries. There's so many different things. There's so many churches, and we have all of those referrals. But you can just call 866-613-3777.
You know what?
They're from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday.
And Monica, I'm really glad you called because you just gave me an idea. We're going to put all of these resources up on the KJLHradio.com website.
I will contact you. I will get them because when I say there's so many, we have all of them from every county. Nobody has to be concerned. That's what we do. We do this every day, so we know what to do. So that's one thing I tell people. Even they freak out. I'm like, look. Why do you think people come here? We are the United States of America. We are California, and L.A. County is this bar.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we forget that. I don't know what happened with your phone, Monica, but I agree 100%. We're not thinking about, we're one of the richest countries in the world. We are a state that could be a nation unto itself. We are in one of the richest cities in the world. Just because you and I don't have that Rolls Royce doesn't mean our county doesn't have the resources to take care of our own in a crisis. And I keep telling people, yeah, okay, Costco's out of toilet paper. Guess what? They got warehouses full of toilet paper. They're going to restock those shelves. Pretty soon, those people are going to get tired of buying toilet paper. They won't have anywhere else to put it. And you can go get you some. And unless we're talking about this dragging on for 3, 6, 10 months, then, we could see some supply chain disruption. But right now, we're talking about a couple months probably at the most, probably a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. And
I wouldn't want to speculate on and give dates. I've learned in my business that is a problem, but it's people like Robert just called. And look at Monica calling us on her day off.
Yes.
To give us the phone or to give a phone number where people can reach out and try to get assistance that they need. That's an example as to why we're going to survive. Mm-hmm. I mean, with the great people that we have and with the Lord on our side, when our backs are against the wall, he will make a way. He is a way maker.
No
as
doubt.
long as we just unite and recognize at this point we are all one race, the human race, and in order to survive, we got to work together.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think absolutely that's true. I'm not trying to say I can tell you how long this is going to go on. I'm just saying that people are acting like they're not going to be able to get things. And for the foreseeable future, you will be able to get them.
I tell you, again, my poor wife, she goes back to the store. I don't know why she's doing this to herself. So she goes back to the store today at 6:00 and calls me to tell me that one lady tried to get some pork chops out of her shopping cart.
Wow.
Tell your wife to stay home.
In fact, what I'm gonna do, Doc, is I'm gonna have my wife call you.
Yes, have her call me.
I'm gonna have her call you and you bring her down. We have food in the house. We have toilet paper. We have sand. I keep her home. I'm gonna give me your personal number.
I will.
See, we're making moves right here on the air. It's the front page. It's a special Saturday edition. We're talking about how to deal with the coronavirus, COVID-19, psychologically, physically, governmentally. We have lots of folks to talk to. You can call us 520-KJLH, 520-5554. We're doing this until 10 o'clock, and we're doing it live from the KJLH 1-800 The Law 2 studio. I'm Dominique DePrima for Radio Free 102.3 KJLH.
Broadcasting